live stream about 8:30. I stayed at my mum and dad's and brothers. Got home here, but I started doing some chores, cleaning. So still technically in the morning. So today I want to continue from the other live streams, of how to overcome morning anxiety, how to build confidence, how to complete your daily routine and keep moving forward. Today I wanted to speak about an anxiety related problem, which is always trying to feel good. I definitely have that. I've suffered with that pretty much all my life. But I became aware of it and started to really make progress. And every client that I've pretty much ever worked with and coached and mentored throughout the years has also had that. And I'm probably pretty sure you do. I think everyone's got that. Some people may have it to more degrees than others. And there's a couple of reasons why I guess that we have it. And the first one that comes to mind is, when you're younger, when you feel good, it feels great to feel good, and feel loved and safe and connected. And when you feel bad, when you feel depressed or down, or really anxious or frightened, or you've got negative thoughts or intrusive thoughts, it makes you feel bad. And when you feel bad, you interpret that as you're kind of disconnected from being loved or feeling loved, even though these things are not fundamentally true. But if you go by emotions, it's very easy to be convinced by your emotions that that's what is true, and then you believe it. It also comes with perfectionism, trying to be perfect, not accepting yourself, not allowing yourself to basically be human. Because obviously we all make mistakes, or sometimes we don't even make mistakes, but our anxiety is judging everything that we do. It's monitoring everything that we say, everything that we think, or things that we don't want to think about, or actions that we take. If we're going to the gym, it will be judging us. If we're talking with our friends, it will be doing the same. Family. So it's getting an understanding of this anxiety and how you can start making progress. Now, obviously, we all want to feel good. I wish I felt good every day, but the reality is that no one feels good every single day. Even people that are, happy, or they're naturally more easygoing, less affected by things, they're still human. So whether people have got anxiety or not, they're still going to have days where they're not feeling like getting out of bed and going to work, going to the gym, being around people. So what I've learned with this, and it's a daily, it's something that I learn daily, is when you don't feel good, it's good to still do activities. It's very important. And I try and explain why. It's kind of difficult on the live stream, but I'll do the best I can. Hopefully the comment section's working as well. You can get your questions. When you start doing things, it kind of puts you into a different space. So you may get days, you may be going through a period where you're depressed every day and you've got anxiety every day. And I'm kind of going through this at the moment. I'm going through a very difficult time in my life. And I'm still, running my business. I'm still helping my clients to make progress, get results. I'm still going to the gym. I'm still working on my diet, bills, spending time with family and friends, because I've learned from the past the value of not giving up just because, well, not just because obviously it is hard, but because you're going through depression or anxiety, or just for people for day-to-day living who may not be depressed and anxious, but you've seen my live stream today and you're not feeling like facing the day. When you put things off because you don't feel good, you teach yourself how to be mentally weaker, emotionally weaker. And I don't mean that in an unkind way, because this stuff is really challenging. Life's difficult at times, very difficult for me as well. But I'm explaining how I can help you and how I've helped myself and helped clients, and things that I've also learned from other people. Someone that comes to mind, jumps to mind, is David Goggins, who has had and has all the anxieties that I've had, that you've had, but has turned his life around and learned a lot of useful life skills to get through life and get the most out of it and be the best person you can be. So you get stronger mentally and emotionally when you can find the strength to still live your life and move forward regardless of how you feel, especially if you're not feeling really good. So if you're not feeling confident, it's still better to continue doing things that are eventually going to give you confidence and make you confident. Because if you stop living, and what I mean by that is if you isolate and you just give up on everything, in hope that in hope that you're going to wait until you feel good, then you actually prolong recovery or getting back to a good place. But I just think it's a good skill to have anyway. Hi, Timmy. I'm almost, it's not a contradiction, but I'm almost saying, look, I think I said this on the live stream yesterday, something that I learned. And believe me, right, I want to get all of your thoughts and how you feel. I didn't like this when I sort of learned a bit more about life, because I only had my own perspective for a long time until you learn from others you teach. And when I was really young, I'm sure a lot of you relate to this, I really hated feeling down or any negative emotion. It petrified me as a young kid. I was very sensitive, and it made me feel ashamed, and it made me blame myself, which isn't fair and isn't something that people should do. But I was young, I was a kid, because I was comparing all the time how it felt to feel good and then how it felt to not feel good, how it felt to feel anxiety and how it felt to feel peace and to feel relaxed, how it felt to feel depressed and how it felt to feel happy and joyous and excited, how it felt to feel uncertain and how it felt to feel more certainty. So my mind was going back and forward, scanning and checking, always seeing how I felt, and it makes you really stressed living like that. It actually can run you into the ground. And a lot of people, I'd say everybody who's got an anxiety disorder, oh yeah, it was a fantastic game, England. I really enjoyed it. I thought they played great. I thought they'd beat Holland for some reason, and I thought the shootout was brilliant. I don't think England can beat Spain, but I hope I'm wrong. Let's see. Spain look very solid. So everyone who's had anxiety definitely suffers with this. Hey Rami. Change, mental, control, pain, control anger, control emotion, controlling feeling. Good point. Yeah. So what was my point? Sorry, that's my train of thought. So I don't eat breakfast in the morning. I haven't had a coffee. So, as I said, yes, everyone who's had anxiety disorder, until they change this and become aware of it, that's what this live stream is about today, they're going to suffer with this. This goes back to all those things: social anxiety, perfectionism, procrastination, overthinking too much, caring too much about what other people think, people pleasing too much, all those thanks Timmy, I appreciate that. I don't actually, which is fine, part of today, I don't actually feel great inside, going through a difficult time, but like I said on this live stream, the value is in what I'm doing today, which is showing up and continuing to do that, and I'll get to that in a second. Hope you're well, Timmy. So, I keep losing my train of thought every time I try to explain this. This is not an easy thing to explain, It's kind of exciting. I've struggled to explain this for about 6 years, tying myself up in knots. I guess I'm trying to explain to people that if you're depressed and anxious and your life is a disaster right now and you're not feeling good, I know you can find something else in the meantime. And I guess that thing I'm trying to explain is gratitude, but it's probably also discipline and the ability to do things when you're not feeling good. And the reason why I talk about Goggins, because I can really connect with him on this same principle, because I've practiced it and lived it in my own life, and I've taught it as well to clients when they've asked me and they've needed to. And I guess it's the ability to be able to move forward in life and do things when you're feeling terrible, when you're not feeling good about yourself, for whatever reason, for whatever's happened or how you're feeling or what you're dealing with. And truth be known, everyone, millions of people all around the world, deep down, are not feeling good, and I understand it. I'm not judging them, but they won't admit it. I've been there too, believe me, right? I choose to admit it because I guess I've matured more, and I'm trying to stress a certain point to help more people. I know they really appreciate this, and some people won't, that's fine. So many people won't admit it, and I used to be like that because of shame and because of pride and because of worrying that other people will not value them and view them in a negative light or judge them, right? But all those things are anxiety. And if you can get past that, you actually get stronger later on. You gain healthy confidence, good confidence, not arrogance, humility, and you'll be in an even better place. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Yeah, I have Timmy. You're right. I have been dealing with OCD actually, and getting some therapy for that, and it's really helped. It's kind of been a relief to me because I always knew that I had something growing up. There was some sort of mental health problem that I dealt with, and I didn't quite know what it was, and it's good to be aware of what it was now. And I mean, not 100%, but I'm pretty certain I've probably had OCD all my life since I was a kid. And finding other people online, also coaches like myself and other people, and them sharing all the patterns, I recognize every single one in myself. But I also believe that you can overcome OCD. I've overcame other mental health challenges in my life. So that's good to know. So yes, and there's almost I will say this, and I mean this well. Hard to explain these things. It's pretty much. I'll have to do some writing and videos to break these things down because I'm struggling to explain it on the live stream. So I've had these conversations with friends and clients, especially of recent, and clients have said things like, and this is not in a judgmental way of anyone, but sometimes people say, if someone's not really got challenges in their life, and if they're relatively happy, which is great, they haven't really got anxiety, they're not depressed, they're not waking up worrying or dreading the day or lonely or fear of uncertainty, and they're financially good, and they've got all the kind of things that make up a good life. But at the same time, they're not driven to come outside their comfort zone. They're in safety, right? And obviously, they would have general human fears about losing their position in life, financially, mentally, emotionally, even their position in life, their perceived position, whatever that is, their status, etc. So when you're in that sort of happy place, there's no real motivation to build mental toughness and to really dig deep. And I'm not saying that if people are in a good place and they're happy, they're not going to be as motivated to be more empathetic towards others, because you can be. But I'm just saying that sometimes there's not as much motivation. But when you're in a very, very dark place and when you're down, you really do have to think about really meaningful things, which isn't always a negative thing. It can help. Things like, what's the most important thing to you, your family, or for some people, for me, faith, loving your friends, caring about other people, the real meaningful things in life, not the mundane things that we all get involved in at times, but they're not very meaningful. Wasting time on lots of material things or things that are just, they're not going to be close to your heart. You're going to forget about them. They're fleeting. They're very quick. It's like likes on a video on the internet, or eating some sweets. It feels good, and I like sweets. It tastes good, but then you crash down after, and then it's done. Yeah, let's get some of Timmy's jokes in. They're always good. Our knees may be starting to knock, but give us half a chance, and we can still misbehave. Timmy, you got a real skill for jokes and writing and language. You should use that while you are on the live stream. You're a good writer and you've got good humour. I see some stand-up comedy there. I see some literature, some history, all those things coming through. Brilliant. So as I said, motivation motivation can be very different when you're comfortable in your life as opposed to when you're uncomfortable every day or every minute of every hour. And that's when you've got to look for something else. That's what I've learned. So again, David Goggins is not the only person that I can use as an example, that I can sort of illustrate my point, my life experience, and connect with many people, and not just famous people as well, who really do value the ability to not be in a great place, but to never give up. And that's basically what we're saying, to not give up when things are not going well, whether that's with your anxiety, your confidence, your finances, your relationships, or all those things. So I've, you know, throughout the last, I don't know, decade, when I was, even though I really don't like to use the word, but I'll just illustrate it. When I was successful, at age sort of late 20s, 30, after being in a bad place, setting goals, I was so happy. I've said this before, I was happiest man on, well, not on the planet, but I felt like that because I had a girlfriend, and I made money. I wasn't broke anymore, and I did a job that I loved. I worked for myself, paid my taxes. I was my own boss, and got over my anxieties and was just in a great place in life, and was doing public speaking and just living a dream. So things were going really well for me. I was, I couldn't wait to wake up every morning and work with a client, or, see my girlfriend, go out on dates together, and then we lived together, friends. Couldn't wait to see my mum, my family. So I was in an amazing place in my life, and I didn't know that there were other skills that I was going to have to learn in life, and I didn't know that my life was going to fall apart. I didn't, obviously, there's a chance, but you never really believe it, and I was younger then, so I didn't have the life experience I've got now. And I just sort of felt like once you get into a good place in life and you're successful, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, once you get there, you're kind of there forever until you die, and then, off to heaven. That was sort of my thinking. Now, of course, that's not to say that some people can't maintain being happy, but if you look at anyone's life throughout the whole duration, it's never the case. So, of course, eventually I was shocked when I started to suffer with mental health problems, and then I had a mental health breakdown, and everything collapsed. Starting from sort of 215 and 217, I had to go into hospital, and I couldn't work, could barely function. I had to go on medication. I was poorly. So during that time, happiness didn't work anymore because I was manically depressed every day. I didn't want to take my own life, but I didn't really want to live anymore, and I didn't want to die. I was scared and just totally depressed. Had no motivation, lost all interest with life, wasn't interested anymore with the concept of making money, wasn't interested anymore with trying to be successful, just really wanted to find peace again. And I started to reflect on things that were important to me eventually, which was my belief in God, my family, friends, and just moments, moments in life that you appreciate, the real meaningful things. So, and it was over time that I started to really understand the value of what I'm talking about today. Being able to get up in the morning when you don't feel like it and go for it, doing simple things, having a daily routine, and doing that routine regardless of how you feel, and being able to move forward. And you build a lot of strength through that process, through that experience. And I can outline that from the most simplistic example, which is the ability to get out of bed when you're in sort of mental hell, when you don't want to face the day, you don't want to face life, you're scared to death, and you're down and depressed. But to be able to get out of bed and shower and put clean clothes on it, that is the discipline, and that is very different to happiness. But eventually, happiness will follow. It's something even better, peace. So you learn all these new skills, which can be really valuable in life at different times of your life. And then you also I realized that you've got new skills that you can help other people with, that at some point someone's going to need your help. You don't need to be a therapist to help somebody. You just need to be a friend, or be empathetic or supportive. So at some point you learn these skills. This is what happened to me. It's been a continuation. I learned these skills, and then when I did get myself back to work again in business, situations would come up for me. They come up all the time. It comes up with clients, or it comes up with just someone that I might meet in life, and they will need some of my perspective because they don't have it. And I've gone through it, and I'm still going through it. I've gone through very good times in life, and I've gone through hell and back, bad times, really difficult times, and I've learned some tools and skills through that process. So I'm able to say to someone, for example, this is something that usually helps people. So usually if I'm working with a client, or I just meet people, or maybe a friend, and they're struggling with something that they're scared to talk about, or they're ashamed, they're worrying about what everyone's going to think, me included, I can say to them, I can share some of my story, and it makes people feel, it makes them know that I'm not judging them, because I've been through some difficult things with mental health and life challenges. I've been through losing a friend, grief, to suicide. I've been through, losing all my money and mental health and then coming back and getting in a good place. I've been through breakups. So all these things that I've been through, I can share some of the things that I've learned that can help that person to get through their day or what they're going through, or at least to let them know that they're not on their own and there is hope. So these are the skills that you can learn that are a bit separate to happiness, which also has its place as well, of course, because if you've got someone that's happy and joyous and you're down and depressed, it can be great to be around them because they can lift your mood up. So of course there's value in all these different things that we're talking about today. But I'm trying to say to people that if you're not in a good place and you're going to sort of not do anything in hope that when you do get in a good place, then you'll start moving forward, you're going to make yourself suffer longer unnecessarily. So I like to give some other examples as well that I've learned from the running. Now with running, again, some people like running, some people don't. Some people hate it, some people love it. Some people may not enjoy it. I think David Goggins says that. I don't know if it's changed for him since then, because people are changing. He's evolving, which is beautiful. But I know I've heard David Goggins say that he actually, to people's surprise, he actually hates running. He don't enjoy it, but he does it because it builds mental toughness and it gives him what he wants on his journey. But for me, it's different. I actually enjoy running. I never used to when I was younger. I hated it, but I've been doing it for over 2 years now, and I've got a different relationship with it. But of course, there's days where, even though I enjoy it, I'm scared to do it, and I don't always feel like doing it. But doing it when I don't feel like it builds resilience. It builds all these different tools. It builds confidence and resilience and strength. It builds it in gratitude, and it teaches you the skill, as I said, to be able to do things when you don't feel like it. And there's so much value in that. Let me just ask all of you, right? A little bit of fun, right? How many of you right now, or throughout the discourse or throughout the time in your life, if you could go back if you could go back in time in your life when you wanted to do things that were important to you, but you didn't do those things because you were scared, or you didn't feel good enough, or you didn't feel happy, how many of you would like the skill to be able to go back in time and do all those things despite you not feeling like doing them, and then receive obviously what you would receive from doing when you're not feeling like doing it, which would obviously be strength and new perspectives and new skills that you'd learn, maybe new skills that you'd learn that I wouldn't be able to teach you because it's your experience, your perspective. And how many of you would like to be able to do that more consistently? And that's really looking at things differently, as opposed to a lot of people, when they're not feeling good, they want to close down, they want to isolate, they don't want to talk about it because it makes them feel worse. They want to run away from it, but running away from it makes it worse. It makes you look at things differently. So, who's to say, it's like those t-shirts that people wear. I see them online where it goes, it's okay to not feel okay. I agree, because most people in society, I think we've got it wrong, a lot of us. They've almost got this thing that you have to be happy all the time, that, you almost can't be human. And that's not even how the human body works anyway. You know that from your own experiences being alive, that our emotions don't always fluctuate that way. We go through different things, even when we're going in a happy time. Even a happy marriage. They're not going to be happy every single day of every minute. They're going to have times in a marriage where it's going to dip, where one's going to be down or sad or both. Same in business. No business is always successful. It's always happy. It's always flourishing. Now, some people may think that because you see a business and it's doing well, and it might do well for 20 years, but then the 21st year it has a bad time. So it's kind of the same principle throughout all. Yeah, Tina. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would feel like that. All of us, me too, right? Wishing that we had more courage or confidence to do things that we wanted to do when we were younger, but we didn't believe in ourselves. I'm trying to learn, and I'm good at teaching it to others. I'm trying to get better with taking this for myself. Again, it's always, I don't know, it's easier for me to help others. I like helping other people. It always feels good, less selfish. But it's about forgiving ourselves and moving on and doing it now. It's never too late. I mean, yesterday, I couldn't believe it. A video came up of Grant Cardone. I was showing my brother. He's 66 years of age. He looks so good for his age, man. I couldn't believe it. It's almost like the new 60s, the new 40. He looks great. He just looks great anyway. He just looks so young and so energetic. And obviously that's because he looks after himself and he's passionate, still running a business and doing what he loves. So never too old to learn, I would say, in most cases. Can learn now and do things now and start today for anybody feeling like that. So lost my train of thought. Love when this happens. I have to think about it. I can get more questions, get your questions in as we go along. Don't be nervous, all of you. I'll always try and answer the questions. So as I was saying, even things like, everything in life, like with training, people have said to me recently, well, some people said I look a bit skinny, but everyone's got their opinion. I like the shape I'm in. I was overweight a couple of years ago and I've got very fit and dieting, and people have said, oh, your discipline's amazing and you're always eating healthy. I was like, I really appreciate that, but that's not entirely true. I have dips. I've been eating quite unhealthy last few days. I've been stressed. I've been eating a lot of takeaways, right? But I've also been very consistent. That's why I've lost 50 pounds and I train most days and I eat healthy most days. So I suppose it's getting out of none of us are perfect, and it's about accepting these things and getting the best out of them. Mooted. Who's my celeb lookalike? Got no idea. Yeah, no, you're right. I was going to say, a lot of people say that, right? That's flattering, right? Because that means I've got England to the finals. But I always got that growing up. People said I look like Gareth Southgate, and it actually it used to bother me when I was younger, but I find it flattering now. So yeah, you're not the first person to say that, and I can't disagree with you. I guess we do look a little bit alike. But I'm not Gareth Southgate. Timmy says, do you think... You know what, Timmy, man? I'd like to talk to you more in person one day about that. That's a conversation maybe to have in person, not on a live stream. Or when I do an event and you'll come down and I can have a chat with you, right? I'm going to stay on what I'm an expert in. I see your point. So yeah, it's I've got to do videos on this. I've been going through this phase since 2017 now, and it's been an interesting challenge, and it's been a big perspective, and it's been basically comparing the two perspectives of life. What's better? Happiness, which is always risky, because happiness is usually based, even though people say it shouldn't be, it's usually based on external factors, on money, on people liking us, on a relationship, on looks, on clothes, on body image. It's usually based unconsciously around those things. And there can be a while where those things can make you feel a certain amount of happiness. Definitely, I'm not going to lie about that. But it don't last. It never lasts. And when it comes down, you're very, very miserable and depressed. I've been through it, and I've had friends, and I learn from other people too that are smart, honest, vulnerable. So I go over that perspective because that was a perspective that I used to be obsessed with, and still sometimes too, but more so when I was younger, on the first kind of part of my journey. But after going through what I went through, the mental health breakdown, that naivety was broken, and I changed a lot. So the other perspective is the perspective that I've got now, which is making the most out of life each and every day and really valuing that it's precious and doing the best you can regardless of how you feel. And even if you're feeling down and depressed, obviously it's not something that you want. You try and get out of it, but if you can't, you still find gratitude. And how do you do that? Well, you do that by being aware of how you're feeling, and you do that by doing it, by wanting to do it. Example, I spent time with my friend yesterday. I had a good time, 5 hours. Then I spent time with my brother and my mum as well, a little bit with my dad. And the whole day's gratitude. I wasn't feeling good yesterday. I wasn't feeling good. I'm still feeling like it now. Feeling down, feeling some stress, anxiety, worry, uncertainty. But I still, the day was still a grateful day, and I enjoyed the England game. So it's kind of contradictory to what a lot of people believe. A lot of people think that you can't find some joy, some peace when you're not happy, and you can. It's discipline. And then eventually, if you stick to this discipline of getting up every day and doing the best you can, and not isolating and not giving up and being honest about where you're at, because the lies that people tell themselves makes it worse. And again, I'm not judging because I've done it at some point, and I don't mean like you're lying, you're bad, but you're lying in the fact that you're telling people that you're happy, and you're telling people that you're good when you're not good. So it's lying to oneself, and it's damaging. And I know it takes a lot of courage to say, because it takes courage for me to say, I'm a teacher, I run a business, and I help people that have got anxiety. I don't promise them happiness, but it does come eventually. But I promise them confidence, discipline, being a better person, more honest, and many other things that I help them with, right? But basically confidence, right? But I'm not going to lie. There's no point me lying, because it wouldn't be helpful, and I wouldn't do that to myself anymore. But when I was first starting on my journey, I wouldn't be open about it, because I'd be concerned about what people might think. But I learned the negative consequences of doing that. Now, of course, emotions can change. Emotions can change, and it can happen throughout the day through being honest. And it happens to me. I've had it quite a lot recently, where I've woken up and I've not felt good, and I've gone and met a friend and said to a friend, I feel terrible today, awful today, my mind, feeling negative, I'm stressed out, I've got a business to run, clients that I love, but I'm still stressed, got bills, got challenges, I've got a lot on my mind. Now I'm dealing with missing a friend that's passed away. There's a lot going on, a lot getting me down, and I meet a friend, have a chat, and I feel great, because I'm with a friend, and I get out of that space, and I feel so happy. I feel really, really peaceful. But then the next day, I'm back feeling depressed and down again, same again. So it's a continuous discipline every day. I'll get to your question, Tina, sorry. What if you had a good relationship with your toxic parent? So I didn't fully understand your question. Did you mean me, or you just sort of posing a question? That's an interesting question. Is that sort of coincide with what I'm saying? Yeah, you're right. Emotions can change. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying, obviously, look, it's up to other people. I can't tell people actually how to live all their lives, but you're asking me for help. if you aim for happiness every day, it'll be up and down, because emotions can change by the minute and the hour. But what is more permanent is what we're talking about today, and I keep struggling to find the word, which is interesting. And I guess I'm going to use the word gratitude and discipline, right, and thankfulness. So let's give an example. Sometimes they say people that have got good lives, so they've got a lot of money, or they're just they're maybe not massively rich, but they're good financially, good life. They go and travel to a poor country, and they're astounded, they're shocked at how happy the people are. They're like, I can't believe it, the people are poor, they're living in poverty, they hardly have any food, they got a little bit of food, but they're so happy. They're more happy than we are. And then people get a shock to the system. That's kind of what I'm getting at today. Oh, I get it. Yeah. I'm sorry that you had that. I know how that feels. A lot of my clients have gone through that, and it is tough. It's very, very tough for people when you've gone through that. But I can say that there is hope, and a lot of what I'm talking about today, Tina, it definitely coincides with your experience, and everyone has been through that. I've been through that growing up. Some toxic relationships, and they obviously affect us. And that's why people are on a journey to get past that. So you're not alone, believe me. I've gone through the same thing, similar to you, and pretty much most people have. So yeah, as I was saying, the value of being able to be grateful, even when you're not feeling good, is a really good skill to have. And yeah, if there are a lot of other people online. I'm sure some of you have watched their stories or watched their videos, and they share the same perspective as me. And I think the reason why I'm sharing this perspective today is because of things that I've gone through that have changed my perspective, or some of my perspective in other people, and also connecting on, like I said, using David Goggins as an example, because I may not be able to connect with all of his perspective. Maybe I can, but certainly a lot of it I can. Especially the premise of what I've been saying today, the ability to take action when you're feeling awful, when you feel like crap. And whether that's just on any given day, or whether you've been feeling like crap for the last 6 months or a year. I know the value of that, and I'm practicing it right now. Earlier on, I'm enjoying this live stream now. I'm very grateful to be here, but I didn't feel like doing it, as you can imagine. Maybe some of you didn't even feel like coming on today. But it's not labeling that as bad. It's actually saying, well done for showing up. And that's what I'm encouraging any of you that are struggling, to not isolate yourself from people, because look, it's that same pattern again. We've all done it, right? Let's not judge. I know it with clients, with helping them. It's one of the first questions that I will ask a client if they're mental health struggling, or things are not going well, or whatever they're not grateful is, are you spending time with your family and friends? And when was the last time you went and met with a friend? So I'd say yes, the word connection is important, actually. That's kind of the word I've been getting at, sorry. That's kind of the main word. So yes, gratitude and discipline also describes it, but it's connection. You don't need happiness to have connection. And connection is actually a lot of times better than happiness, because as we know, happiness is like up and down emotions. When you first, if you first, when you first date someone and you have got feelings for them, you don't love them yet because it's a bit too early, but you've got feelings for that person, they've got feelings for you, and you're excited to meet, you're happy, you have happy emotions, which are beautiful, but it don't last, does it? Over time, let's say you get to know each other, and then one likes one more than the other, and the other one changes their mind, and then you're down again and sad, depending on obviously your personality, your character, the skills you've got in life. But generally, we're all like that until we learn, right? I certainly was like that. Really happy when when I was younger, when I'd get a date, or when a woman would message me, I'd be so happy, so excited. But if she changed her mind and said, I can't meet you, I'd be straight down to depression. So it's not strong, it's not consistent. It's fleeting. Not saying that you can't enjoy it. You can. It's part of being human. It's a beautiful thing, but it's quite naive. So you need something, especially when you get older, that is more reliable. And as I said, connection, gratitude, discipline, the ability to handle uncertainty and difficult emotions. Thanks for your question, Johnny. How did you get yourself to make that first YouTube video? It's a good question. I got myself to do it because I was excited to do it. I was really nervous. I was extremely nervous, but I didn't really take it too serious. And my mindset was more excitement. So sort of just taking it like a bit of comedy, a bit of fun, and just doing it. And that was how I first did it. But as time went on, my attitude towards videos changed. But yeah, thanks for asking the question. And yeah, definitely, you've got to find your own happiness, as I said, because everyone's got their own perspective, and I'm giving you mine today, and it may not be right for all of you, and that's fine. But it would still be good that it would make you think about finding what is right for you. But I know a lot of you will appreciate this and get something from it, because it's basically explaining to you how to face your fears. And that's a thing that a lot of people struggle with. A lot of people are making the deal in their mind that they're only going to go and face their fears when they feel good. They're only going to face their fears when they don't feel fearful. And it doesn't, look, it generally doesn't work like that until you get a lot of experience and you've been doing it a long time and you've got more momentum. So if you wait to feel good to face a certain fear, you're going to be waiting a long time. You're going to waste a lot of time. So again, this premise or this principle can be explained in all these different ways, but it's basically an anxiety problem. How many of you, it's not judging, I'll go first, I've got the pattern too, I'm aware of it, working at it. How many of you have got, as part of your anxiety or part of your personality or part of the way that you've been for a long time, how many of you don't do things when you don't feel good? And how many of you only generally do most things when you've got good emotions in your body? Let us know. It'd be interesting. It would help you to understand yourself more and make more progress. And also, I'm looking at my plant over there, it remind me, growth. If you want to grow as a person, then you can't always aim for happiness, because growth generally isn't happiness. I mean, it can contribute some of that, right? Because let's say, like I said again, and again, I keep saying it because I mean it, we're not judging here, and I'm not judging anyone, and I'm not going to judge myself either, right? But if someone is comfortable in their life, comfortable in the sense that they've got all the things they need, which is wonderful, right? There's part of me that wishes I had that again, but I don't, and I'm glad with the things that I do have right now, right? But let's say financially they're good. They don't have to worry about money, right? They've got more than enough money. They've got friends, so they're not lonely. They've got good friends. They've got family. And of course, we've all got issues. None of us are perfect, but they don't have any major issues right now. They're not dealing with grief or any breakup or pain or loss right now. So life's really good and they're comfortable. So they don't have a reason to face difficult things. They don't have motivation to maybe get their trainers on and go and run in the snow or do a 2-hour run that is going to be extremely challenging, or to go and do a public talk when they're things like that, or to get on a plane, or I don't know why I'm saying it, but maybe to swim with great white sharks. One of my biggest fears. Those of you that have done that, well done. I'm fascinated with that. But do you understand what I mean? There's no reason for them to get outside their comfort zone, because they're happy, they're content, and they've got everything materially, spiritually. But they won't get the growth. They won't get the growth that other people who have no choice, or who've given themselves no choice, who are struggling, who are in a lot of pain in their life, they're in rock bottom and they want to change their life. Or even someone who's not rock bottom, but someone maybe like David Goggins, who has everything right now because he's earned it and deserved it, but still lives by a code of honor of wanting to grow and challenge himself and not be comfortable. They're not going to do it. They're not going to be driven to do it, you know, because they've got everything. Everything is easy. And I understand it. I understand the logic. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm explaining the perspective. And why would they want to make life difficult for themselves when we all want to be happy in life and content, depending on generally where we're at. But generally we do, right? Especially at the start of our life, for sure. Appreciate that, Lenny. So they're not going to be motivated. And sometimes people are not motivated to go out of their way to put their life on the line to help other people, for example, in all the different various ways, or make themselves vulnerable, risking getting hurt and getting judged in order to change people's lives. Probably not going to do that. They might not be motivated, right? And you can understand them feeling that way. We've all felt like that. But although they've got the things that someone on another side of the perspective wish they had and doesn't have, like financial freedom, emotional stability, more certainty in life, more peace, but they're not going to get the growth unless they go through some change too, and they lose that happiness, or they decide, actually, they might watch one of David Goggins' video, or they might watch one of my videos. God, I've never thought like that. Wow. Yeah, I'm comfortable in my life. I'm very happy. I'm very grateful, but I'm not really challenging myself, and I could be losing out on something precious. Do you see my point? Oh, you're amazing, Lenny, man. I don't think I've met you, but I love that you do that, man. That means a lot. I've been in a mental hospital, as you can probably tell, and I recovered. So I really do love people. I love people in general, but I love people that help people, especially in mental health. Which country? England. I'm from England, UK. I'm gonna be honest, man. I want England to win, but I think Spain are gonna win. I hope I'm wrong, but I will be honest. You asked me the question. I can't see England beating Spain. They look pretty invincible to me. But I think this England team's played great. I hope I'm wrong. I want England to win on Sunday, and part of me believes they can. But if I have to be honest, I think Spain are going to win. But I shouldn't really say that, right? I'm supporting my country, but you got to be honest. So yeah, there's value in daily discipline, and that's where basically this is where my daily discipline routine came from. That I've been practicing now since 2017 up until now, and I started to change a lot of my teaching and give it to people, clients, any of you that want the help, because that's what got me through difficult times and into a good place, and able to survive in periods of depression and anxiety or challenges, etc. It's coming home, hope so. But if you work at these things long enough, you will eventually arrive at happiness. That comes as a result anyway. And even other things, satisfaction, many other things. I think people do start to realize that as they get older, that there's happiness is not the only thing to value in life. And maybe for some people it is. There are other things that make life, valuable, like gratitude. All right, Cornelius. So again, just to give a couple of examples, if you wake up in the morning and you feel good, brilliant, and you're like, I want to go to the gym, I'm feeling amazing, I feel good today, great, go to the gym. But if you wake up in the morning and you go, I feel terrible this morning, I've got anxiety, or I just don't feel confident, or I just don't feel good, I feel negative, try going to the gym on that day and see how much you're going to grow as a person. So I think I'm not saying these things are 100% certain, but I know from experience that you're going to grow more, you're going to grow stronger roots. I keep looking at my plant over there, looking at the roots growing pretty nicely. You're going to grow stronger roots if you can move forward and take action when you're feeling awful or down or anxious or depressed or sad, lonely, than you would or will if you only take action or commit to your life when you're feeling happy emotions. guess I was having a chat with a friend. This is a mindset. You know, I call it also, it's courage, heart, but it is a mindset, it's an attitude. You know, I've worked with people from all different walks of life and different careers, athletes and actors, business people, 9 to 5, people that are, you know, going through a stage of unemployment, other teachers, therapists. I've worked with people from all different walks of life, different careers, and the mindset works for everyone and anyone that wants to do it. And that's the mindset of being able to move forward regardless of how you feel. So Real says you're 16, you're preparing for your second toughest exam, and you have to give this exam by 2026. It's so difficult. I can imagine that. But like I said, try and take something from today's live stream and change your mentality with difficult things. And that's what we are talking about today. We're talking about how to do things when it feels difficult. And that can be anything. That can be getting out of bed. That can be your exam, business, relationships. It doesn't really matter. The premise is the same. It's, you know, it's dealing with your own negative emotions in your body, whether that's fear, anxiety, worry, all those things, and still being able to move forward as best as you can, right? Obviously, we're not talking about, you know, going to the extreme. Obviously, if people are extremely mentally unwell, then they need to get professional help and get some help ASAP, a therapist or some coaching or etc. But generally, if you're able to do things, socialize, go gym, etc. Cornelia says the trouble is when you go through when you go through a really bad place, you eventually find what works by hook or crook. But we'd rather not know it before. Absolutely, you're spot on, Cornelius. You're right, but I know you're right. It's true what you said, but that's life, right? Yeah, that's true, Lenny. Yeah, talking about it and venting is good as well. It's good to get these things out. So it's good to have good friends or come on a live stream or a mentor. And I do mentoring sessions if anyone's interested, in person, online, and I really can help people and give them the help and support. And as I said, I'm usually able to help people because of my experiences, and even if I don't have all the answers, other people do, give them that help and support with mentorship. And mentorship, you know, is all about setting goals, having accountability, and giving you the mental and emotional support you need. Because that's what we all need. All of us do. When you go into a therapist or a mentor, you need mental and emotional support, because none of us can do everything on our own. I can't do everything on my own. Doesn't matter where you are, and that's a good thing. And then also having a strategy so you can build confidence and overcome your fears and your anxieties, and, you know, get from A to B. Because obviously, I'm not saying that, you know, we don't want to be in a bad place forever. Obviously not. That's extreme. We want to get out of it ASAP. But the reality is, it doesn't always happen overnight. So whilst you're in a bad place, you might as well get the most out of it by practicing daily discipline, by having routine, and by learning the skill of building mental resilience, mental toughness. I like all the different words, and they kind of mean the same thing, right? You see my point. Because let's say someone says, I like to give this example as well, because, you know, most of what I do is helping people to build confidence within all the things that I do, you know, helping people to talk about their anxieties, to eventually face their anxieties, to build discipline, gratitude, motivation, to be a better person, all those things. But it ultimately comes down to confidence. But if someone, and I like sharing this, if someone hasn't got confidence, it's even more important that they do things, because that's where things are going to change for them. They will eventually build confidence. But a lot of people, again, because of their limited perspective, what they've been taught, their conditioning, their beliefs, let's say, for example, maybe some of you can help me to do this session today. Someone wants to go dancing, right? They have it in their heart that they want to start dancing, and because they feel they will enjoy it, but they say, well, I'm not confident at dancing, so I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to wait until I become confident. It doesn't work like that. It would be better to go and do dancing and be awful at it, right? Even though I don't like saying that. I don't think anyone's awful. I think it's about learning. But let's just say that, because people feel that way in their mind. It's better. They feel embarrassed, ashamed, not good enough or whatever. It's better to go and do the dancing, and then you can get better, and then you can get stronger, and eventually you'll be confident at dancing. Same with speaking to people. I understand when people are shy and they've got massive social anxiety and they're very introverted, they will say, oh, I can't talk to people yet. I say, why not? Because I'm awkward. I'm socially awkward, and I don't have confidence, and I can't make eye contact, and I can't think of things to say. I run out of things to say, and it's embarrassing for me. And I understand. I used to be like that, and I've helped so many clients to overcome that. But the better idea would be go socialize. I know it's hard and it's really difficult, but it's worth it, because if you wait to be socially confident before you socialize, you may never socialize with that mindset, with that fear. Are you serious, Lewis? Are you in Skid Row? I've watched documentaries about that place. I've been quite fascinated. Or are you just joking? I can't tell sometimes. Man, it's extremely tough. I have to do the same thing every day. You're awesome. You're already doing daily discipline. Well done. You've inspired me today. This gentleman's 16. He's studying for his exams. He says he's got to do a difficult thing every single day. It's so boring. It is boring, this stuff. Even a lot of stuff I'm doing at the moment. It's boring. It's hard. It's monotonous. But that's where gratitude comes in. And we're all getting that today. Well done. Tina says, don't give up and you'll always have other opportunities in life. I lost my nephew to suicide. Sina, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. See the stuff that people go through. I lost my friend as well to suicide last year, so it's tough, man. That's tough. He's barely 17. I'm still sad and heartbroken about it. Bless him, man. God bless him. That's tough, man. Okay, you're just having a joke. Sorry, I've got a sense of humor. Lewis was saying American funny. Okay. So, yeah. What's the gentleman? Sorry. Your name is Real. So you're doing it, and we're all doing it now. That's a great attitude to have, Lenny. You're doing the right thing, no matter what. At the end of the day, I want to be the first person to overcome it and to pursue through it. You've got a great attitude, and with that attitude, you can't go wrong. But we do understand, right? Believe me, it's really difficult for me to talk about this subject, knowing that other people have gone for it. It's sensitive, but I will speak on it, and it is difficult. So I may not speak on it too long. I'll see how I feel, but the suicide is heartbreaking. It really is, and I was always saddened by it throughout all my life. And I've been suicidal myself. Thankfully I didn't do it, but it's not the point. I felt like that, and when I lost my friend last year, it same as what Tina was saying, it's continued. It's broke my heart. But what I am going to say is, because a friend asked me yesterday, or was it yesterday, 2 days before, and it made me cry. He was asking me about my friend. What did I learn from his life and his passing? And I said, well, I learned one of many things. I mean, the first thing I learned is, how much I love my friend and will always love him, what he means to me, and appreciate all the time that we had. And we always had amazing times. I was very lucky to have him. So that's the thing that I learned. The second thing I learned is, which isn't easy for people, so I'll say this really gently. If you're going through a difficult time, speak about it, because this is what happens to people. It can happen to anyone. It can happen to all of us. So there's always some good people out there that understand what you're going through and that will help you. And they would have been through it. And don't listen to the voice in your head which tells you to, potentially take your own life, or there's no hope, because I always believe that there is. But I also understand that I don't always understand what someone's going through, because I'm not in their mind. I can only sort of go by what I've gone through. So it's tough, man. It is tough. But you know, what can we do as a society? Raise more awareness and help more people, especially, and I'm not excluding anybody, but especially men who find it very difficult to talk about their emotions. Industry needs to be back to front, in my opinion. Though good people try to help and mean well, seems too much misinformation out there. But I hope everyone finds a solution. Glad you're helping. I appreciate that, Cornelius, and I can really see your point of view. And I can probably agree with you on many things that you said in that. I appreciate that, man. I'm really sorry to hear about your friend. We keep too much to ourselves, push it that. Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that. That's one of the things that I appreciate, how kind other human beings have been. When I have mentioned about my friend, which is still not an easy thing to do. I'm still going through the grief of it, and I didn't know how I feel about talking about it. You know, I've got so much respect for my friend and caring for his family, but when I started to realise that there's a lot of other people, I'm not the only one that have been through it. So many people. I've seen things on comments on YouTube, and so it's yeah, I really do appreciate you saying that, Cornelius. Thanks, man. By the way, I've got a really bad environment around me, and the people as well as friends, so selfish. I have to go through it because I've got no choice going through hell. Just want to say, real, make sure you're not on your own. I don't know what your situation is, because you mentioned that a few times, right? And I hope that you're not, man. I hope that you're not suicidal. And if you are, please speak to someone, your family, or any professionals, and they'll help you. But hopefully you're not in that place. You're just getting things out. And I think you've got a good attitude as well. And I think that you will get through this, and you'll be stronger, and things will be better. And you've inspired everyone on the stream, including me, because how brave you are, what you're doing every day. So keep going. Definitely, Lenny, you're right. Well, I don't know, Timmy, to answer your question, obviously it was suicide, and I'm not really going to speak about it on here, to be honest, out of respect to my friend, but I don't mind you asking, and I don't know all the reasons, obviously, because it come as a shock to me. So I know some of the things, but I don't know all of it, but out of respect to him, I wouldn't go into that now, as I don't know all the answers, but you know, I do believe that he's at peace now. He's at rest, and he was such a good person. That's what I'd like to speak on. You know, he was a kind person, and a lot of people loved him, including me, and missed him. And he did a lot of good for people, and he lived a good life. Whilst he had a great life. He was only 47 years of age, and I really looked up to him. I still do. So that's what I'll leave it on. Yeah, never an easy subject to talk about. Maybe some people can talk about it easier than I can. I've always struggled to talk about this subject, and I'm kind of making slow attempts to get a little bit more comfortable talking about it, because it's a sensitive one, and I'm aware of people got feelings, and it's difficult for me. But I guess these are things that we do have to talk about to prevent these things from happening, and to also help other people, give them some support, emotional support, because it was very important to me. You know, you go through a lot of pain when you lose someone, but we can also speak of the person as well, and that makes you feel good. I'm quite lucky, just to let all of you know, I've got my family, a loving, caring, got caring friends, so they've been very supportive, with my friend passing away, and I'm able to speak about it. But yeah, I do get moments every day where I think about my friend, and it's hard to put it into words, but it does make me appreciate it. Feels like he's still here. It feels like he's still in my heart. Like he's not actually. He's maybe gone in person, but still here. Morning, Frank. What's up? Well, you almost missed the morning, Frank. We're getting on the afternoon. Hey, Harold. Hi, mate. You okay? I'm okay, Harold. I'm okay. How are you doing? Read your question, Tina. So with your nephew passing away, it's so sad. Strongly believe that the prescribed medication he was taking as a kid gave him mental health problems. Man, I could see it. You might know something. You have a point. Really, parents should never give their children prescribed drugs. Um, I see a point. I don't have kids, but I kind of probably would feel the same. Yeah, man, Frank. Amen to that. The spirit never dies. That's true. Definitely true. You're doing well, Frank. You're in your routine. It's good. Could tell you're making progress. That's brilliant, man. Appreciate your thing. How California rolls. That's nice. Appreciate that. Thank you, man. Sending love. Thank you. Yeah, I agree with you, Tino. I do. Everyone's going to have their own opinion on these things because these are sensitive subjects. I mean, people ask me about medication. I just say, look, I'm not a doctor and I can't tell you whether you should take medication or not. I wouldn't take that risk. It's you really got to speak to your parents or make a decision. But I took medication when I needed it, but obviously I was 34 years of age when I took it, and I was always someone that was quite against medication. I was very paranoid about taking it. When I first went into hospital in 2017, and I wouldn't take it. I was like, no way am I taking it. And because they didn't try and force me, I made my own decision to take it. And I took it for a while, and it did help me. And then I eventually came off medication, so I can share my story. But I agree. I'm not sure if it's good for kids, but I'm not a doctor, and obviously that's the parents' choice or their choice. But I feel the same way as you, Tina, on that. I do. Right, Cornelius, a few things that were useful for me in the playlist. Sure, you're helping so many more people and you realize with your stream. Oh, yeah, thanks a lot. My friend says that a lot. And sometimes, I do realize that, but I do forget. I'm only human. And I sometimes, not embarrassed, but I don't like to big myself up too much and say, oh, look at me, I'm helping so many people, because it's not always necessary to say that. If you're helping people, and you're doing it. And but I can appreciate someone saying that I've helped them. And over the years, I've got messages all around the world. People in person, clients have said that I've really helped them. So that means a lot. I think everyone's a bit like that. I think all of us teachers, we do feel a bit, if we're being honest. I don't think it's a bad thing. We all have a little bit of, I guess, humility where we feel a little bit uncomfortable. I still do, with people saying, great things about us and you've helped everyone, because we also know that I know that I'm not better than anybody either. I'm another human being. I've always enjoyed helping people when I can. Even outside of my profession, coaching and mentoring is something that I enjoy doing anyway. And I also enjoy receiving help too when I need it. So that's just part of my personality anyway. But yeah, there's people that I follow online and I leave nice messages, and I sometimes can sense they're very grateful, but it might make them feel a little bit embarrassed or a bit shy, because I've been so grateful for the help that they've given me, and they've not been, they found it a little bit, which I can understand. We're all human, we're all vulnerable, so they found it a little bit. They've made them happy, but maybe these are things as well that I've got to work on. Being able to receive thanks from people a bit more, especially in a career context. What exercise do I enjoy? My favorite exercises are running, swimming, and boxing, and also weight training. So 4 there, but I'd say if I had to say the most enjoyable out of all of them, I'd have to lean towards, I'm battling between running and boxing. I think I'm gonna go with running. Running's probably my favorite exercise now, and then boxing. Timmy's hilarious. His jokes, they're always great. We all have a role to play. Mine is to keep you on your toes. Oh, that's amazing. That's hilarious. I remember a joke you said about a year ago. I told my brother I was in stitches. I can't remember it, but I said I wasn't teaching my old teaching anymore, something like that. And you said you said your life, you couldn't make sense of your life no more, something like that, because I changed an element of my teaching, or I changed my name to my real name, and that had kind of rattled your whole sense of your whole reality, or something like that. You said it was funny. I don't spar anymore. I don't spar anymore. I'm too old. I'd get my ass kicked now, and I don't want to take punches to the head anymore. But I used to love it, and I do feel like doing it sometimes. So no, I just work out. I just hit the heavy bag for the boxing and do a bit of. That's it really. That's amazing. Is that you, Lenny? I didn't trust talking to anyone, and then I got a job in a mental hospital, and I work with a therapist and a psychiatrist, and talking to them has helped so much. That's brilliant that you've done that, man. Well done. No, I don't have a dog. We had one growing up, family one that I loved. It passed away, but I don't have one now. So, pretty much finished today's main lesson. Maybe I'll do a few more questions in it, and then we'll finish up. That's wicked, Cornelius. That's great that you do that. Um, Walking, weights, and cycling, exercising, great. I encourage that on this platform, this community. I encourage my clients to do it as well on the program that we do. So important to have a daily routine. Harold says, someone advised me to get a dog to learn love. Thoughts? Go get it, man. I agree. Love animals. They're beautiful. I'd say definitely go for it. Don't overthink it. Just get it. I've got a client today. It's not till a while. The days are long when you get. I've got a client at 2 o'clock. I've got to do some other stuff. Animals, great compassion, definitely. So if all of you are enjoying these streams, let me know in the box below. Do like and share and subscribe. Just to let all of you know as well, I do mentoring sessions. I do short-term mentorship. I do intermediate and long-term. So if you don't want to commit to something long-term, but you'd like to book a mentoring session, you can do that. I do mentoring sessions in person in London over coffee. I can help and support you with what you need help with, especially with facing your anxieties, building confidence, gratitude, accountability, all the things that you see me teaching and talking about. I also do mentorship online. So if you can't get to me in person, that's fine. You don't need to. Works really well for my clients. Work with my client James. We do an online call every Thursday, every week, and in person. So you can book a session online. My mentorship starts in terms of time from anything from an hour. You can do an hour call, and during that hour, you can talk to me one-on-one. Conversation will be private. I'll keep information private, and I can help and support you with what you want to achieve. If it's in this area related with getting over anxieties, building confidence, just some examples of results, things I've done for clients. I've helped clients to build a business from scratch if they're scared to do it, overcome social anxiety, many things like that on a sort of results level. Get a relationship, make friends, open up, talk about their anxieties, make progress, all in these areas. So if you want to make progress in your life and other things as well. That's good to know, Harold. Animals are great too. Animals are loyal and loving. They definitely are. They help people to stay out of depression. 100% they do. I've talked to a friend about this. Sorry, Harold, I didn't understand your question entirely. Are you asking about my mentorship? I'm not with Bupa, no. I run my own business, if that's what you're asking. Oh, so yeah, just to let all of you know as well, I'm rebuilding my business at the moment, a lot of changes, so I haven't got a website. But if you want to contact me for mentorship, you can contact me. I've got an Instagram. You can send me an email. My email address is below most of my videos. It's Jonathan, I believe, 83 O'Halloran@gmail.com. If you email me, then I will get back to you and see if I can mentor you and work with you and help you. And as I said, I do the mentoring online and in person. And you can also follow more of these live streams. I do videos, and I will be doing live events soon in London, as I said. So basically, just to sort of summarize what we said, I know it goes against a lot of people's thinking, especially anxiety sufferers. You don't need to be happy to live a great life daily and to move forward. You really don't, because I'm doing it. I'm not particularly happy right now for some of the reasons that I've said, but I'm still very grateful in my life, and I experience moments of happiness anyway throughout my day, and I really enjoyed doing this live stream today. So I do have a lot of joy every day, but that's because I prioritize my habits, my activities, my mindsets, and I take action daily. So a lot of the healing and the confidence building is done. I'm not saying all of it, but the majority of it is done through taking action. Especially for people, for everybody, but especially for anxiety sufferers, for sure. That is so important when you can relate to someone, especially that's been through the same things you can. It's awesome. 100% Cornelius. That's so true, and I'm not just saying that because they're my clients, but that's what my clients have said about me. They said that they can really relate to me, they can really trust me, and they don't feel judged with me, and they get great results because I'm honest with them, especially about where I'm at in my life, whether I'm very happy, I'm in a good place, or whether I'm struggling. And I help them to get results. And I'm the same, when I've worked with mentors, I always choose mentors and teachers that I can trust and that are real. They're real. No one's perfect, obviously, but they're going to be honest with me, and ultimately they're going to help me, and they always do. But everyone's different. Not everyone is going to resonate with me, and that's fine. It's never going to be like that. But the people that do will. So I'd also say to all of you as well, it's very important to get a mentor. And I might not be the right person to mentor all of you, but you should. There's always good teachers out there, therapists. Have a look, find someone that you trust, that you're comfortable with. And that's something that I've always done throughout my career. I've had several mentors, and I've got a therapist at the moment, and she's very nice. She's really good. She's helping me a lot with some of the issues that I'm dealing with, and I'm making a lot of progress. So it's good to have that trust. And these are all ways of managing mental health and building confidence, and as I said, nothing's indefinite. Just because you're in a bad place right now doesn't mean you're going to stay there. You're probably going to get into an even better place if you don't give up and you get all the help and support. You follow the things I teach on this channel, which are daily routine, help and support, not isolating yourself for long periods of time. Obviously, unless you're spending time on your own and you're in a good place, you just need some space, that's fine. So all those simple things, going to the gym regularly, eating a healthy diet. So just to explain again, if anyone is interested in doing a program with me, a mentoring program, whether it's a short or long, these are the things that would help you to change your life. These are the tools that you'd learn. You'd learn how to move forward if you're not happy. You'd also learn tools that will that get you in a good place and confident by working on having a positive lifestyle, a routine, gym, eating healthier, spending time with friends and family, and working on your career. And this is I get really passionate This is where I'm going with my business at the moment. I'm still developing it, and the programs, it's working well. And it's basically the program that I've been living myself and practicing since 2017 to now, and it works really well for anybody, even if some, again, you know, not everybody that is not depressed right now or anxious is entirely satisfied with their life. They want to achieve things. They need a mentor like myself, a coach, to give them support, because we can't all go from what we know, because our perspectives can be limited. We don't know everything, as I don't. So if we want to learn new things, so some people may want to learn how can they lose weight. You know, I've done it, thankfully. How do they get the mindset to start dieting? And I can teach people if they're committed. I can show them how I done it and how they can do it through my method, or so many things. That's good, Harold, that you're getting therapy. Well done. Have you tried EMDR? What is that, exposure and response? I believe that's right. I'm doing CBT therapy at the moment, and that's working well. I always wanted to do CBT. I always felt good about that, and it's working out well. It's kind of bizarre because there's quite a lot of natural CBT through my teaching, but there were some things that I didn't know that I'm learning, and obviously things that I didn't teach, which I'm learning now through the CBT therapy, which is great. But yeah, I don't know if all of you, how long you've been following me. You can watch other videos that I've done. I've got loads of videos on YouTube from years ago and from recent. I've got an Instagram page where I teach you, you know, how to build confidence, how to change your life, fitness, dieting, socializing. There's so many different things on the platform you can look at. You can follow me on my Instagram. I can't even remember my name. It's the same as my name, Jonathan. You'll find it if you go on Instagram and you write in Jonathan O'Halloran, my name, it will come up. A lot of my Instagram is around my dieting, the healthy meals, fitness, motivation, some client testimonials, things like that, that can give you daily inspiration. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's great, Harold, that you're getting that all done. A few more questions. It's really great lately, the live streams. I was saying this to a friend, we've been talking about this. When you don't expect things, they tend to come. And that's another video for another live stream. That also helps everybody, but especially anxiety sufferers, which is taking the pressure off of your expectations and just enjoying each day and getting out the most of the day that you can, and then things, you know, that you don't expect come. Oh, thanks for sharing that with me, Harold. I appreciate that. I didn't know that. I'm learning more about what you said, so I'll have a look at that. I appreciate you sharing that. Now, before I go, I was going to say, are there any topics that any of you would like me to touch on? Because there are lots of other sort of separate topics within building confidence, within overcoming anxiety, within motivation. There's a lot of different things. Are there any specifics, videos that you want me to make, or live streams or programs, goals that you want to achieve? So let me know it, and I will if I can. My PSD pushes people away, and the older you get, the harder it is to make friends. Can you relate? I can relate to that. I think many people can. I will do a video about that actually, because that's probably going to be resonate with a lot of people like yourself. But I can relate to that, Harold. But what I can say is, you know, with making friends, it's something generally that you can't force. It's something that has to happen organically, in my experience, and from helping other. I was talking to my client about this. He's a lovely guy, a great guy, and he agreed. And you know, he's gone through a lot of changes. He's built a business. He's a great person, but you know, doesn't want to be around negative people. trust can be an issue. And I said to him, you know, he's a very positive person. He's a coach too. And I said to him, you'll meet the right people, but you can't force it. And he agreed, because it don't work out that way. You can't force friendships. I mean, people do that, but it never works out well. It has to happen organically. And the way that you increase the chances is working on your confidence, working on, you know, treating people how you want to be treated, having good boundaries with people, learning to say no when you need to say no. And, you know, obviously going out, you know, doing activities, all those things I've said there will increase your chances of making friends. Because I think I said on the last live stream, you know, all the good friends that I've met, and especially also my friend that passed away, I didn't plan it, I didn't force it, and neither did they. It was something that happened, I think through serendipity, if that's the right word, or organically. And the same growing up, you know, all my good friends, I didn't plan to meet them, I didn't force it, I didn't know, and then that's when it happens. So there's a lot of wisdom in that, and I know that's not always easy for people, because, you know, we got a problem solution brain, and especially with anxiety. And of course it's hard if you haven't got any friends. I understand that you get lonely and you want to make friends, but it's something that has a sort of delicate principle, like I said. But that's why it is important to be friendly. You know, if you want to make friends, be friendly, and go out, go gym, go to events, you know, get, you know, socialize basically. Yes. Was that Jim Carrey? Yeah. Exactly. Imagine how life would be. That film, it stresses a good point. It's usually our internal representation of how we're holding on to something that's happened. Definitely. A lot of times you're right, Cornelius. Not everything, but we've got to change some of our perspective on ourselves and other people. Then we make friends more. But some of you can fill in. Tell me some of the best friends that you've had growing up, even if it was in your childhood. Did you force it? Did they force it? Did you know it was going to happen? The likelihood is you probably didn't know. And of course, sometimes you meet people and you just have a sense that you can connect with them, you trust them, and you sort of have a feeling, you know, but you don't know from the start. But you do know that if you start trying to force friendships and be too desperate, people don't like it. You know, none of us really do. They back away, you can push people away. So I know, I'm not saying it's easy, because, you know, it's not always easy, but you can do it, you will do it. And I think at some point everyone's done it right. It's just that people forget. Probably a video that I think I did make a video on that at some point on the channel. It's definitely there, how to make friends. But again, I need to do more videos on this and talk about it more. Hello back. Am I an advocate for counselling? Well, I'm not a counsellor, but I'm a mentor. But within the mentorship that I do, I help people that have got anxiety to build confidence, discipline, and to face their fears. So within what I do, there is an element of counselling, yes, and there is an element of therapy, but that is not my title, a counsellor or therapist. I'm a mentor and a confident coach, if you will. My PSD encourages risky behaviour. Can you relate? Spending, womanizing, fighting. I could relate on some of those things growing up. Yeah, definitely. Well done for being brave and working on those behaviours. I think a lot of people can. Is it bad to spend $69,000 on a plane? Well, it depends on you. I can't answer that. It depends on the person. Right, almost. I just want to get to 90 minutes. Okay. when we don't know how to cope with something, we tend to create distraction because we don't know how to get out of our heads 100%. I think you're having a joke, haven't you? You've got a good sense of humour. Is it part of your student loan? Just a side note, yeah, doing these live streams has gotten actually easier for me and more fun since I've been doing the running. And the reason why I want to share that with all of you is because I really do value the value. I really do value the value that you get from doing things that are difficult, but things that also make you really appreciate yourself, life, and other people, like running. So, like I said, the running has been something that I've fell in love with over the last 2 years. I've been doing it progressively. And I remember certain points when I'd run where I'd want to give up because I'd get tired, I'd get fatigued, or my mind would be very negative, a lot of negative, intrusive thoughts. And it would sometimes make me feel stressed and want to quit. And I'd learn each and every time new lessons, and I would go a bit further. And I got stronger and stronger. It's been a continuation. So when I'm doing these live streams now, usually when it gets to about this time, I'm quite tired now, and I start to run out of things to say, which is something that I've got a lot better at over the years from teaching, speaking, getting more comfortable myself, and enjoying helping people getting out of my head. So when I sort of get tired on these streams, I start remembering, oh, what do I do when I'm running? I keep going if I want to keep going. And I've been able to do that on these live streams, if that makes sense. So I like to share that with all of you because you could get those results in all areas of life. I call them transferable skills. You spend a lot of time setting a goal, building discipline in one area of your life. You gain the knowledge from that area, or the wisdom and the confidence, and then you're able, sometimes you don't even realize it, which is great. You're able to transfer that strength and knowledge over into other areas of your life, or all areas. And that's makes me feel really good when I get that. And it makes me feel good for my clients, for them, or for any of you. Transferable skills or confidence, whatever you want to call it, discipline. I also really like to see all of you as well having conversations in these live streams. That's great that all of you, that's important as well. I forgot to stress that. John Vargas, what would you say to someone right now if they asked why they shouldn't end it all? I would say to that person, well, there's 3 things I'd say, right? Number 1, I'd say, look, I know how you feel, because I felt like that. I felt like ending my life several times. Secondly, I lost a close friend to suicide last year, and it's devastating. Thirdly, I'd say, don't do it. There's always hope. You know, your people care about you and love you, and get help ASAP, and things are going to get better for you. That's what I'd say. Now, the fact that you've asked me, I wasn't going to share this, but I'm not going to say the person's name. I'm only saying this because you asked me. I don't know if it was a few months ago anyway. This was when I wasn't going through this kind of depression that I'm going through at the moment, this grief, this thing I'm dealing with. I was, I had a mentoring session with my client James. We do a session usually at 2 o'clock on a Thursday, and I went down, there's a coffee shop just downstairs. And when I was having a coffee before I was getting ready for the session, and some nice fella, someone recognized me from YouTube. A guy came up to me, come running out, and he's excited to see me, and shook my hand and said he'd been following my channel for a long time. And I had a chat with him, and I just said to him, look, I'm just the same as, I'm not a celebrity. I don't want to be, I'm just a regular person like you. So there's no need to be nervous around me or anything like that. And he was a lovely guy, and we sat down and I had a chat with him. And then he told me that he was really depressed. Even suicide had crossed his mind because he had a health challenge. He had health anxiety. And at the time, I was going through some health anxiety. I was really worried about a lump that I found that I thought was cancer, but it wasn't. So I was going through what he was going through, but I was also happy at that time. And I had a chat with him for about an hour. We had a great chat. And to answer your question, is it Vargas, John Vargas? I kind of shared my story with what I'm just telling you now, making sure that he was encouraging him to not take his own life. He said he weren't going to do it, and he knew someone else that did it. Sometimes we got to talk to someone because we're feeling that way, and we may not want to do it, but if we stay that way, there's always a danger that someone could do that. So speak to someone. People care. I care. I understand. And believe me, a lot of people do. A lot of people have been suicidal and they've overcome it. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. Tyson Fury's been that way. He overcame it. So that's what I'd say. Your name's John, right? That's what I'd say, 21 John. It may be slightly different, John, if I was with him in person, because obviously you're asking me now, we're on a live stream, but it's better in person, right? Because it's, you've got human emotions and... But yeah, if anyone's feeling that way, please tell a parent straight away, tell someone, and trust me, they'll help you, and you will get out of that space. You're not going to be feeling like that forever. Things will change for the better, and they can change, and it may put you into an even better place that you've been. But I understand it's a really difficult question for all of us, myself included, because it's a challenging thing that that's really going on at the moment, especially, and I don't mean this to exclude women. Of course, women have mental health too. I've helped some clients, women, friends, I've got fellow friends, girlfriends that have had mental health. I was in a mental hospital, men and women, but we know that the numbers are a lot higher with men because we feel scared to talk about it. We feel embarrassed or ashamed until we get over that. See, you're a good bloke, Cornelius. People do care. People care on this platform. I think that's what happens to people. They start to believe that no one cares, or there's no way out. Some of those things. I think we've all felt like that. It does cross everyone's mind, but there's a difference between thinking it and just having a thought and never doing it, to actually thinking about it and doing it, or getting close to doing it. And that's when people really need to know that they matter, and believe me, people would be deeply affected if anyone's listening, if you took your own life. But it's really good today, it's great effort. We have another great live stream. That's what I said earlier on, guys and girls. You can still create great experiences like we did today, whether you're happy, you're going through a difficult time right now, and I know a lot of you are, and I know a lot of people are around the world, and I'm also going through a difficult time right now. A lot of us are, but there is still hope, and that's what we've achieved today by coming together. That's the thing, isn't it? With human emotions, when you're in a bad place, it's very easy, and it happens where people start believing that it's never going to change, and that they're always going to be in that dark place, and that's what starts naturally making your mind go that way. But as you know, things can change in half an hour. If you meet someone, a friend, a coffee, a video, some music, you do a workout. Now, I've said this before, I've talked to my client Phil about this. I felt awful before, And I've gone and done a run and felt amazing after. My perspective's completely changed within an hour, within 45 minutes, sometimes within 10 minutes, having a chat with a family member or a friend. So that's the power of the human spirit, what anyone can do for anyone else, or what someone can do for you. Wow, 100 minutes, I'm breaking records here. What's the longest live stream I've ever done? I think it was, I think the longest one ever was 3 hours. I'd like to try and break the record at some point, do a marathon. Again, it's doing the live streams is a bit like friendship. You can't force it because it don't work for all of you and for me too. Has to kind of naturally go that way. If you force it, it doesn't feel quite right. So we are coming to the end soon. So how long is that? 90 minutes, an hour and a half? Okay, so an hour and 40. Pretty good, really good today. Any final questions before we head off? What did all of you learn from today? What did you get from it? I'd love to know. You're welcome, John, and it's nice to see, you know what I mean, it's nice to see you guys and girls being kind to one another and helping each other. It's great. Are you daily, Jonathan? I try to be as best as I can, yes. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate new subscribers. Yeah, we'll come to the end now. Any So yeah, I appreciate everyone coming on today, and another daily live stream, which was great. And keep going and keep going. Many things that we learned today. Try and practice what we said today. The art of moving forward when you don't always feel good, or when you do feel good. Not letting your emotions dictate all of your actions, and basically still living your life and moving forward, and things will get better. They always do. Thank you, Jonathan, for helping so many people. You come across really caring, sincere. I appreciate it, Cornelius. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming on as well. Do subscribe, all of you, if you enjoy it. And I look forward to the next one. And you can follow the other videos that I do. And I'll speak to all of you soon, all right? Have a great day. Awesome.